I've been noticing some things in Luke 16 that are pretty interesting, and I really wanted to present this to you and see if anyone had done any research and had a little more insight on this subject of the rich man and Lazarus. So I'd love to pose these questions to you, and I'd love to hear your comments and see if you can provide some insight on this. But this is about the rich man and Lazarus, starting at verse 19 in Jesus' own words, written in red. There was a certain rich man who was clothed in purple and fine linen and fared sumptuously every day. But there was a certain beggar named Lazarus, full of sores, who was laid at his gate, desiring to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table. Moreover, the dogs came and licked his sores. So it was that the beggar died and was carried by the angels to Abraham's bosom. The rich man also died and was buried. And being in torments in Hades, he lifted up his eyes and saw Abraham afar off and Lazarus in his bosom. Then he cried and said, Father Abraham, have mercy on me, and send Lazarus that he may dip the tip of his finger in water and cool my tongue, for I am being tormented in this flame. But Abraham said, Son, remember that in your lifetime you received good things, and likewise Lazarus evil things. But now he is comforted, and you are tormented. And besides all this, between us and you, there is a great gulf fixed, so that those who want to pass from here to you cannot, and nor can those from there pass to us. Then he said, I beg you therefore, Father, that you would send him to my father's house. For I have 5 brothers, that he may testify to them, lest they also come to this place of torment. Abraham said to him, They have Moses and the prophets. Let them hear them. And he said, No, Father Abraham, but if one goes to them from the dead, they will repent. But he said to him, If they do not hear Moses and the prophets, neither will they be persuaded, though one rise from the dead. So many people have the opinion or thought that this is a parable, but I am of the opinion that it is a true account of something that really happened. And the reason that I feel that way is because real names were mentioned. Lazarus, he mentioned the name Lazarus. He mentioned Abraham. He mentioned Moses and the prophets. And the details of where each person was and the details about the family members make me feel like this is a true account. And I do not believe it is a parable, but that is something good to research if you're interested in the topic. Some of the things, though, that I noticed in this were that Lazarus was with Abraham's bosom, and the rich man was in Hades, the place of the dead, and they could not cross. There were boundaries between them. However, they were still able to communicate. He was still able to have a full conversation with Abraham and reason with him, and he was also able to know why he was there. Abraham explained this to him, and he knew and was able to know, this is why I went to Hades. And he was able to petition his cause, and he was able to still care about his brothers, saying, I don't want them to come here. He still had a care for his brothers. So he was still who he was, even though he was in this place. He was still the person that he was while he was on earth. but he was in this place because of his choices. But he was able to have a clarity of thought despite the fact he was in a place of torment in flames. That's astounding to me, that he was able to do all of these things from the place of torment. I cannot say that I would, and I hope that I don't have to find out. But it's very interesting. And another thing that I thought was very interesting is that this must have been set during the time of Moses and the prophets. Because he said, and he was speaking of the brothers, if they do not hear Moses and the prophets, neither will they be persuaded, though one rise from the dead. So he was wanting somebody that was dead, specifically Lazarus, to go and speak to his brothers after the way he treated him when he walked on this earth. It's very, very, like, there's so many facets to this. But I would love to hear what your thoughts are about this account, and see if you have done any research on this and can shed some light on the subject for us all. Thank you for watching. Have a blessed day. It's all about Jesus.